So, good morning. I'm David from Howspace, and I have my colleague Anku with me. Good morning, Anku.
Good morning or good afternoon, David.
Yes, we are calling in from different time zones.
Mhm.
So, we're here to kick off our series of change management, but really, to really set the stage and get started, I'd like to first just address that elephant in the room, which is the title, change management, because it is really an oxymoron. You do not manage change, you lead change. And I've invited Anku to join us today because Anku has some wonderful experience when it comes to leading change. And Anku, what are your thoughts around change management versus change leadership?
Well, yeah, as you said, the whole term is very self-contradictory because managing things means that you can actually dictate the thing, and change is something that you can't really dictate. I would like to talk about facilitating change and leading change because that's what you can do. It's never possible to dictate change.
Very well said. Very well said. And I love that term facilitate because if we unpack the word facilitate, it really means to enable, to really create that environment and set the pieces so that people, because really it's people who change, not companies, not organizations. And if we can really effectively facilitate that, enable folks to do that, it tends to happen more organically, but more importantly, it actually sticks, it actually works. So as we go through this series, we're going to be looking at change and leading change at three levels: at the strategic level, at the sort of middle level, which is sort of the execution level, as we like to call it, and then at the front line, or the targets of change, the folks who are actually going to live that change. And here at Howspace, we have some wonderful tools and capabilities around being able to help enable that to occur. So in this series, we're going to talk about the people, but I thought we'd just start off by talking a little bit about the tools and what it is that helps you, and what are the key tools that really enable us to facilitate that change. And Anku, what has been your experience around that?
Yeah, in my experience, in many companies and organizations that are facing some huge changes, the first thing is that we need some change management tools, or that a certain tool will do the change for them. But that's just never going to happen. Technology doesn't change anything. It's how you use the technology and for what you use the technology and the tools. And again, facilitation plays a huge role there. And having that kind of a facilitation mindset of using the tools to gather information and just somehow accepting that you don't have all the answers, and the tools should be those kind of tools that allow you to switch your process when you go.
Love it. Yeah. And this is actually something that really attracted me to Howspace when I was looking for a transition, is the philosophy that's underlying. This is not a technology company. This is a human company. We are all about the people, and we really live our philosophies here. But I loved what you said. It's around having that facilitation mindset. So how do we enable the conversation? How do we support that conversation? And we need to do that both at the technology level, but also at the cultural level. We step into many organizations to help them, and they've got this culture of fear and hiding, and this culture of no communication, as opposed to a nice open culture where communication is open and welcome and encouraged. So if we layer a technology on top of that culture, if we have that culture of fear, it is going to fail. It does not matter what piece of technology we put there. In fact, a lot of times how it is implemented can actually drive that culture in that negative direction, versus we get into a nice open culture. And I keep saying the word nice, which is, yeah, I'm kind of putting a bit of judgment there, which I apologize for. But when you have that culture of openness, that culture of communication, the real true issues can come out. The hidden things that are going to be the stumbling blocks that are going to prevent that change from going forward. And this is why I really love to look at change from a leadership level and not a management level. So what is it, the culture that you're putting together? What can we do at the strategic level to help drive that? What can we do at the execution level, at that middle level, to help enable and support and continue and perpetuate that? And then at the front lines, at the people who are actually living the change, what can they do to help be part of all of that?
And I think that actually leads us very well to the next episode of our change series, because if I now think about it, the leaders, the executive level is actually the first target of the whole change. They need to change how they think about change in order to get the change happen.
Absolutely. So I'm really looking forward to continuing that conversation. You'll see us in our next video where we're going to focus in at that strategic level. How do we set the stage? How do we start to put the pieces in place and enable the organization so that it can go down that path? Really looking forward to continuing that conversation.
Yes, me too. See you then.
Ciao.